Hey guys, we just finished our first month here on YouTube. Pretty big milestone. So I want to run through all the stats on the analytics page, share some behind the scenes thoughts and my mindset when it comes to the channel. But first and foremost, I want to thank you for all the engagement, all the comments I've seen over this past month. I want you guys to know how big of a spiritual encouragement you've been to me. It is so uplifting. First off, to see that there is a community of passionate believers out there to be reached, and then furthermore, that I can provide some spiritual benefit to them. It is incredible to know that in some cases I'm being used by God in a spiritually beneficial way. That is fantastic to me. It's been so uplifting, so encouraging. So thank you guys very, very much. But that being said, I do want to dive into the stats of this month. Let's get started. So here, let me throw it in lifetime so you get the full picture. Here we have the stats so far. You can see we're at 84 subscribers. I think that's a pretty solid number. Again, I don't really care about that figure as much as I care about that community, that engagement. It could be 5 subscribers, but if it's, if they're active, they're engaged, and we're having good discussion, I'm perfectly content. I'm certainly glad to see it as large as it is, but, I don't particularly care for any of these figures. Let's look at some more here. Views, we have 32,000. That is vast majority shorts. They only have like 600 long form views. So we'll dive into that stat more here in a second. Actually, we'll go ahead and do that now. Our shorts, like I was saying, 31.8 thousand of our 32.4. So a lot of shorts, and that's great. I'm really glad that the message is getting out here. I would love to see more, growth in the long form videos. Those are kind of not performing too great, and the reason I want to see those grow is because obviously by necessity there's just more content there. There's more substance for us to discuss, more conversations to be had around that content than there is around the shorts. And the shorts are just snippets from the long form. So, we're hitting some of those beats. Maybe we would get the same level of engagement if people were watching the long forms. Again, happy for any engagement at all. But that long form growth, I think there's just much more nuance, much more detail to be discussed in that form than the shorts. So with that being said, I am still very thankful for this. I still don't really know the difference in an engaged view and a view. I think engaged view, you just stay for a certain amount of time. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Anyway, likes. This little trend here is good. I'm hoping that this means this increase in likes is indicating that these videos are being pushed more and more to the audience that they're intended for, that it's being pushed to Christians or those interested in Christianity. Even after a month, I think that's just too short of a time frame to really say, yeah, that's a definitive trend. So hopefully after this next month, or maybe these next few even, we'll have more firmly established trends, because we're seeing these inclines and then boom, we drop right back down. And that could be because there's still some inconsistencies, still some errors in my uploading schedule. Maybe I just need to be more consistent. As you can see, there was a week here where I was hardly uploading at all. That was just a horribly busy week. I had a lot going on outside of the channel, and that was really disrupting the flow there. But hopefully this is indicative of some growth, some better audience targeting on YouTube's part. We'll look at the videos here to build that point. I wonder how much of the low performance I'm seeing specifically in the videos is because YouTube hasn't found the right audience to target it to, or just because the quality of the content is bad. Like impression click-through rate this low, that's just how many people are clicking on my thumbnails when they come across them. Maybe the thumbnails just suck. Maybe the content isn't that interesting, even to believers, or maybe it's just not getting to believers. Like maybe YouTube's still figuring out who I am. It's showing a bunch of like elementary schoolers looking for Roblox videos, faith-based content, like maybe there's an audience mismatch. And again, I think this is just one of those things where it's too early for me to really tell. But this average view duration, this is a lot harder for me to say, hey, that's not an audience mismatch. Because, I mean, people are clicking on the videos and they're really just not sticking around that long. So maybe I'm just boring when I talk to a lot of people. Maybe the content is just not that valuable. I'm not adding any new information. Or maybe those elementary schoolers are clicking on the video and they get bored and then they click off. And maybe once those get filtered out, then we'll see those numbers climb. You know, there are some spikes, but, you know, much less. It seems like pretty generally low engagement there, especially considering my videos range from like 10 to 20 minutes long. So I would love to see those figures go up, but all in all, I'm pretty content with what we have. I'm very happy that, you know, there's any audience for this whatsoever. Again, it's just so encouraging to know that you guys are there, and I hope to see that continue to grow. I don't really know what other stats to look for. My goal with this next month is to get these long form views up, get this number up, this impression click-through rate, and then the view duration. If you guys have any tips, any pointers there, I would love to hear them. If you guys think the thumbnails are boring, please tell me. I mean, that's something I need to know. And same for the content itself. Like, are the videos just kind of crappy? Do I need to refine what I'm saying? As you may know, I've discussed this before, my approach to making these videos is I want it to be very raw, very authentic. So I'm not really refilming these videos at all. I just get a general idea of what I'm going to say, like the key points I want to touch on, and then I start recording. And almost every time I look back and I'm like, oh, I really could have hit this point more, or there's a point I think of that I just didn't even mention in the video, but I don't re-record for the sake of keeping that authenticity. If that's something that's valuable to you guys, I'd be interested to know that. Or let me know if you guys would prefer if I would just, you know, prepare for these more, script these out a little more, maybe post a little less frequently so I can ensure that the content I am producing is higher quality. That'd be really valuable to me. Also, if you guys have any comments on the video length, like, do you think this is good? Am I building a deep enough discussion, or does it feel a little rushed? I could certainly expand all these points. I don't know how much. I'm not that bright, so I kind of have to take my time, and I reiterate things a lot just to cement it in my own head, and also, you know, just to ensure I'm getting that point across, because I just don't trust myself to word it well enough the first time. So, you know, kind of conflicting ideas there, but love to hear your thoughts. So, main goal, get this long form growing, and just continue on the trajectory we're at. I think this is really great. I'm really happy with what we have. So again, thank you all so much. This has been such a blessing in my life, and I hope I can continue to be spiritually beneficial, spiritually valuable for you guys in some way. But again, this is not about us, not about me, not about you. It's about glorifying God. So I always want to keep the focus there. I hope that these videos keep your mind centered on Christ, and that they positively impact the way that you live your life. I hope they lead you to glorify Him more actively, more presently in every moment. So just some quick thoughts, quick data check for this first month. Again, just thank you guys so much. Look forward to continuing to hear from you. See you in future videos. Love you all. Bye.